I live in a community of Muslims in Gaimam. Gaimam in Ilorin is the village founded by the personal cleric of the Emir of Ilorin. That's why they call it Gaimam. The most dangerous place. If I were not in the power ministry, my ministry cannot survive in Ilorin for 50 years. The Muslims will tell you, say it and show us. Where you are saying it and you can't show it, they are not interested. But it's also important for me to recognize what is important to God. Is it to make you walk and you will be lame again? Is it to make you see and I know you will be blind again? Is it to raise you from the dead and I know you will die again? I was in Hawaii in a Thanksgiving service and a brother was called out for Thanksgiving, and I asked my host pastor, she's a woman, what are we doing Thanksgiving for? He said this man had died 5 times, and each time he died, prayer band will recall him. So she told him in my presence, he said, the next time you die, we'll let you die. You understand? This is why you keep going and coming. The next time you die, we'll let you die. And the reason we will do so is because we don't want to bring you back and then you backslide and we regret the miracle. So if you die in the Lord, please go. But we have raised men who died in the Lord and they came back to backslide. And we said it's better that we left them dead because we're sure they will enter heaven. Shouldn't the Nigeria church grow to a point where you can recognize what is important? It's important. I need to gather all the evangelists in Nigeria into a conference and ask them to review all the miracle revivals, and everywhere we tell miracle happen in Nigeria. And you're seeing crowd. The Riambonke came and will draw crowds. We need to set up a research team to go back to those places to tell us what is the ultimate gain that is left behind. Everywhere Riambonke went in Nigeria, you go there today, there is no trace of the fact that he was ever there. Idol had increased, masquerades have increased, mosques have increased. If I don't know anywhere else, I know Ilorin where he came. When we say things like this, we are marked down, we are told, face your own. I face my own. But everywhere else I've tried to do crusade after Riambonke left Nigeria, I find it very difficult. The church in Ekiti asked me for 20 million naira before they would cooperate. And when I shouted, they said that's the way Bonke did it when he came. And we who are indigenous evangelists, we are finding it difficult to do a crusade because we don't have access to the kind of money he had. And you're asking us not to talk because you shared part of those kind of money. I said we who are indigenous pastors, we are finding it difficult now to do crusade. I've been doing crusade more than 20 years before he came to this country. We can't do crusade again. The whole terrain has been corrupted. They now bill you, bring so money. If you say you don't have, then they tell you there's no way you can do crusade. We've been doing crusade before. I've been doing crusade when we are using torchlight. I've been doing crusade when we use the lamp. I said this in many places, where you use this lamp that Mala used to sell. We've been doing crusade since that time. We've been doing crusade before this time. There's never a time that doing crusade in Nigeria is this difficult. Because they ask for the amount of money we indigenous evangelists don't have access to that time. And if you don't give them, they will block it. Any revival that is not emphasizing heaven, just like any miracle that Moses was doing, and in the end, they did not enter the promised land. He himself did not enter the promised land. He who was doing miracle for them, he did not enter the promised land. Any miracle and signs and wonders that did not in the end bring you to the promised land is not worth it. Any miracle and signs and wonders and prosperity and anything you get that in the end you couldn't enter heaven, it's not worth it. Revivals all over the world and the history of revivals everywhere they ever took place, they pointed people to heaven. Any church you are in and they are not pointing you to heaven, whatever they are giving you is not worth it. Leave the place. If you visit a Deeper Life member and it is Bible study time, he will tell you to leave. that he's going for Bible study. That's the way they were taught. If you are a member of Deeper Life and you did wedding on Saturday morning, you must attend Sunday school preparatory class by 3 o'clock. Somebody will go and collect the stick from the drumstick and tell the rest of you, please leave here. That's the way they were taught. If you did burial of your father or mother on a Saturday, do quick. You must be at the Bible study. You must be at Sunday school preparatory class by 3 o'clock. That's the way they were taught. When I told my own members, the next thing I hear, you want to kill person? That they have been preparing for this wedding how many years ago? You want to kill person? That we did marriage in the morning. We have not even rested. So we should be there at 3 o'clock for Bible study, for Sunday school preparatory class. In my own church, when I tell them to do that, they ask me, they said, do you want to kill person? And I said, yes. In this other church, if you did Sundays, if you bury your father and you are mourning, instead of you sitting down in the house and people come and put their slippers at your doorstep, they tell you, go for Bible study, go for Sunday school class. You must teach your class on Sunday morning. That's the way they were taught. In their own place, they teach them that service to God is a priority. It's a priority to the burial of your father. It's a priority to the marriage. They will remind you how that Jesus said that some people, they gave excuse of how they went to do marriage. I call my children, I explain to them. This means you are saying I'm a bondman. I have left myself with no options. When I remember my colleagues were preaching other stuff that are easy to sell, I chose the hard one. And I told myself, my children, don't follow that one. Don't follow that brand. Follow this one. That's where the road is. Yeah, yes, sir. I have 3 boys. They are all pastors. And they are missionaries in different nations. My 3rd son was wedding. In many ways, I am lucky. He chose a wife whose parents are members of my church. On the day we were paying dowry, we set up the arena. The wife people, they sit here. We sit here. My son walked up to me and said, Dad, whatever you can do to make sure this service runs quickly, please do. Because I have a crusade in Malete at 5. So I went to the engager. And I said, please tell me what I need to give you. Because these Yoruba people, they have a way they will say the vehicle that is bringing the wife, that petrol finish when the vehicle is nearly reached the church. Then they will spread cloth on the ground and be saying, oh wait, so we will be putting money and putting money. My son came up and said, sir, give them their money, whatever they need to collect. And I called the engager and I explained to her. She said, okay, she will hold. We already have a program with you. But this thing is in them. What it perfect orin oríṣiríṣi wọ́n máa kọ. Orin oríṣiríṣi. But when youtify they pay petrol, the petrol finish just here. Then they carry another song. My son went to the mother and said, speak to Dad. Let this woman who is doing engager here carry whatever money she needs, give it to her. Let her run. We started this thing at 10 o'clock. When it is 2 o'clock, that's 4 hours, I will leave. I called the engager. They said, it's all right, we hear. Then they said, the vehicle are just... that the vehicle has reached gate. Just to enter. I said, okay. 2 o'clock. My son walked up to me and said, Dad, you taught us to make kingdom matters a priority. I'm leaving now. And he carried his Bible and left. And left me and his mother there. He said, I've told you, I have a crusade in Shaw at 4 o'clock. I went to our in-laws who were also there. Each time I tell this story, my wife trying to remind me the details. That when my son took his Bible and left, the wife also. And wave goodbye to her parents. I had to go to the in-laws publicly and appeal to them that in my house we are bondmen. We are sold out. And I use what you all know to plead with them. They say, I want more sin. I want more sin. Which one more sin? What in laws are? What in laws crusade? We are doing wedding for you. We are paying dowry today. He told me, he says, you can continue. You have continued with them. You can continue with them. All the yam is complete. Palm oil is complete. Cola nut is complete. Whenever we get, they go and give them their thing. Me, I'm gone. And they left. I'm not preaching to you what I'm not practicing. I met our brother saying it when I was coming, that revival must start in the house. Let your children buy the urgency and the priority. The two are combined in the Yoruba interpreter and translator. Etete, which it is urgent. Koko means it is a priority. And revival, when it has entered every land, this is what it produces. It makes going to church urgent. It makes being in the presence of God a priority. It raises the appetite for church. David said, I was glad when they said, let us go to the house of God. The revival we need is a revival that prioritizes heaven and makes heaven an urgent matter. Wherever else you go and they say there's a revival there, and these two components are not part of that revival, it's not a revival, it's fake. All revivals in history followed this pattern. That the revival is a revival of appetite for God. It's a revival of hunger for God. David said, I was glad when they said, let's go to the house of the Lord. David said, as the heart panted after the water brooks, he said, that is how my soul longed. The way we want to go to heaven. We are not going to heaven because we want to go and get our leg there. We are not going to heaven because we want to go and get our eyes to open there. We are not going to heaven because we want to go there and born. We are not going to heaven because we want to go to heaven and get visa. We are not going to heaven because we want to get a job. We are not going to heaven because we want to get a wife. You are going to heaven for the sake of heaven, for the value you place on it. But if a revival ever comes, it is in the pursuit of those priorities and those agendas that the Lord wants to see as a principal component of the revival. The revival Nigeria needs is a revival of these items. Not crowd swarming because they're looking for wives. And when we are shouting that, look, these things are not right, nobody is listening. I told you in the morning, I was in the front of John Knox Church in Aberdeen, and a label is put on the church, apartment for rent. John Knox, give me Scotland or I die. The church is there today in rented apartment. They broke it into room and parlor, room and parlor, room and parlor. And somebody here need to understand that something happened to the European churches before they became empty. And those things that happened, they change emphasis from Jesus and change it to material. They change it to money. They change it to posts and positions. Those churches are now empty. The last question I took here in the morning, and I'm glad I did, because the coordinator of the service was highlighting the fact that the time was gone and we cannot take more questions. It turned out to be the most important question I wanted to hear. That this brother studied in the University of Ilorin, and several years ago he was part of my audience. And after that, he left university, went NYSC, and then became a Christian and joined church. He said he was walking past this front of this Baptist church in the morning and saw a label there that as Omolehin, that UMF is doing program as Omolehin will be preaching. That's why he branched. And when he came here in the morning, you heard what he said. He said he had left the church for 3 years and he has stopped going to church because of what he saw there. People are living now. It's not showing because of the number that you still have left. It will only take the next 30 years before these cathedrals will become empty. It became empty in Europe. It became empty everywhere where Jesus was no longer the message, but commerce and industry. I'm saying it, nobody is listening. That's okay. And I've said it here that I'm not crying the way I'm crying because I believe you will hear. No, I have given up on the fact that you may hear. If you have not heard me for 40 years, why do I think you will hear me now? But I'm saying that I want a situation where we will get home and I will be able to stand and say, and when God say, Omolehin, I say, yes, sir. He said, and you were there. Oh, see, oh, Wambe, you were there. I want to be able to say, yeah, I was there, and I told them. That is what I'm struggling for. Moses did not get there. Now, I don't want a situation where I would have preached and Paul said that much that he didn't want to labor and become an outcast in the end. Because that can happen to any man of God. You can be doing it and then in the end you can't enter heaven. I don't want to be that type of person. That's why I have to preach the correct message to my audience, whether or not they are hearing. I can be teaching. You may not be learning. In 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 17, the revival Nigeria needs is a revival in which no unclean thing is permitted in the body. Congo is one of the biggest countries in Africa that export copper wire. Leave it. Copper wire is what we use to conduct electricity. But when the copper has impurities, the electrons that will be running through the wire, when they encounter impurities, that's when the wire begin to get hot. You see, sometimes the wire conducting electricity is becoming hot. The reason it's becoming hot is because the electrons that are driving through the wire, they are encountering impurities, which is impeding their passage. Then it will become hot. That can even burn down the house. I have said before, when the Bible now even says that no unclean thing will pass there, you are carrying people and you say you are bringing them to heaven, and you are told that no unclean thing will happen, will enter there, and you are behaving as if you don't know. Unfortunately for you, you won't be the gate man when we get there. When God will be turning them back one by one. The people you brought cannot enter heaven. God told you when you are bringing them that no unclean thing will enter there. And you bypass all the Bible instructions. You negotiate all the Bible instructions. Everything the Bible commands us to do, you argue against it. Like I once said, I think I was saying it in Brother Adeboye's church. I used to trek 20 miles to go for baptismal class in the 70s. When we tell you to come for baptismal class now, you tell us that the thief on the cross did not baptize, and yet Jesus told him that today you enter paradise. And I'm asking you, are you a thief? And if you are a thief, are you on the cross? Every command that the Bible put down, you negotiate it. And your pastors allow you. I'm warning you that your pastor is not the gate man when we get to heaven. The glory of the crude is in the refinery. The crude oil sells for 500 naira per liter. It gets to a point, they remove some dirty things out of it. It becomes diesel. That attracts higher price. It gets to a point, they carry diesel and remove some things out of it. It becomes kerosene. They remove something out of kerosene, it becomes petrol. They remove some things out of petrol, it becomes aviation fuel. Aviation fuel sells for 5,000 naira per liter. The more they remove, the lighter it becomes. The more valuable it becomes. Until it's now used to fly. The more we remove stuff out of your life, the lighter you will become. You will almost become at a point where you become like an angel. That's how they took a person like Elijah out of here. And they did not wait somewhere to change him. They just took Borogidibe and Osebiloso. I pray that your life will be such that can be taken away like that. Because you have learned to remove the removables out of your life. Any revival that is not removing certain things out of your life is a lie. Revival is to remove things. And each time you remove, you change value. Each time you remove, you change name. Each time you remove, you change even the taste. The way crude oil smell is not the way that diesel smell. The way diesel smell is not the way that kerosene smell. The way kerosene smell is different from the way petrol smell. The way petrol smell is different from aviation fuel. Each time we remove, you smell differently. Each time we remove, you attract a higher price. Any revival they are talking to you about, and it's not removing anything from your life, any unwanted thing from your life, don't go there again. It's a lie. If I had not seen revival before in a place, I would not know what revival is. In Almolonga, if you lost your Bible on the street, there is a city hall where you go and pick it. And all the police stations in Almolonga closed down. Because from morning till evening, when a policeman resumed duty, there is nobody to bring a report of anything. So the police stations closed down. And they deployed their police into immigration and customs. And there I had to ask questions. I'll be such a one that is bereft of ideas as a spiritual leader in my country. That in our own case, we are recruiting more police and more soldiers. In their own place, they are retrenching police because they are not needed. Revival remove crime from their streets. I went to their farms. And since I didn't speak Spanish, there was a man from Sweden who interpreted for me. And I asked the farmers how their tomato. Thank you, sir. And their onion is as big as Nigerian football. Their carrot is like Nigerian cassava. And I asked them what fertilizer they use. And they asked me, what is fertilizer? It was then I understood what the Lord said, that if my people that are called by my name shall turn from their wicked ways, that He will heal their land. The Yoruba interpretation for fertilizer is the best in the world, agile, because iletiku. The revival came into a place and their land was blessed because there were no more crime. The revival we need is not the type that is bringing a crowd who are full of iniquity, where the ushers are stealing money and the crowd is moving with them. Where in the morning, on Saturday morning after our night vigils, that those who are helping us to tidy up the hall, they're picking condoms. Quote me. Quote me. And you are reveling in the crowd that came and their number and telling us how you have the largest audience in the world. We are also telling you about the fact that after this crusade, we are picking condoms. We cannot call that a revival. The revival Nigeria needs is 100% exclusive of all the innuendos and all the paraphernalia and the celebration of our numbers against quality. It's never a time anywhere where you can grow quantity and quality at the same time. Each time you are growing quantity, quality will be going down, and we will not enter heaven by quantity. We will enter heaven by quality. Narrow is the way that leads to life. And there are few people who walk there. And the Bible says, the other road is wide and there are many people there. Where do you find many people on your own narrow road? Your narrow road is another type of narrow road that is foreign to the Bible. And when democracy came and church also picked the virus, that we need number, because you know the advantages of number, that when you have more number in your church, you have more revenue. Because of democracy, you win by the number, even if the numbers are idiots. You win by the numbers, even if the numbers are lunatics, even if those voters don't know their left from their right. And you access power through numbers. And the number craze, democracy in the church became democracy. And our own number chase to become the largest church, the largest congregation. We pick the virus of the politicians. Virus of the politicians. And we are not careful about what the Bible calls, go and read the book of Ezra. The revival Nigeria needs must be word-based, must be Bible-based. That Ezra was preaching, Ezra was reading the scriptures to the people, and their hearts turned to the Lord. And they stood there with their children, clapped to their mothers, and stood there from morning till evening hearing the word of God. And they were weeping and mourning for their sins. Revival everywhere have produced repentance and a territorial effect. Not a revival in which the numbers are there, but even so are the transgressors and the iniquities and the sinners, all bundled into one. The house of God. Which house? Did Jesus not enter the house of God one day and took the ropes with which people turned the house to commercials? And those who were selling, and the Bible says they were selling animals, including doves. And Jesus turned their tables and drove them out. The kind of revival Nigeria needs is not the one that's monetized. The revival we need has nothing to do with finance. The Korean revival is a better brand to copy. Revival comes, prosperity follows. There's nowhere that there was revival that prosperity did not follow. Let me tell you, in Guatemala, the farmers in Guatemala now buy trucks, cash, not with credit card. And with these trucks, they load vegetables every day, driving to North America to go and sell from the same land that they used to grow marijuana. I was in the Ekiti to do crusade a few months ago. One of the lamentations I made to the governor is that now, the United Nations have recognized the Indian hemp grown in Ekiti as the best in the world. We've gone to United Nations to pick number for the wrong reasons. The best quality, the highest grade in the world is from Ekiti. Marijuana. The revival I know about is a revival of people desiring to know God. They are not coming for healing. They are not coming for car. They are not coming for visa. Why are we going to heaven? Why are we driving at heaven? We are going to heaven not because we want to be healed when we get there. We are going to heaven not because we want to prosper when we get there. Why are we going to heaven? That should be the reason for our Christianity here. Thy will be done on earth as it is